Breaking news. Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. We're at it again with the numbers. Now another source comes out and reports the numbers just under 50,000. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Well. Haney versus Prograis. Devin Haney had a sharp performance. There's been a big dispute as far as what this fight did on pay-per-view, right? I've already made several videos. I've given you my opinion. There's other people that have weighed in, including Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerbe. He said the numbers were about 50,000. Then you have Bob Arum, and he went on Wax, did an interview with Fight Hype, and it says, Bob Arum, the truth on Devin Haney's disappointing pay-per-view numbers. And he says, basically, Devin Haney's a great fighter, but he's not a pay-per-view attraction. He's not a pay-per-view star. This has seemingly been going on since the Devin Haney fight. So I want to say 2 weeks ago, and it still seems to be a point of contention. Now you have another boxing reporter named Dan Rayfield who put together a piece, and his sources are saying the numbers are 45,000. So Dan Rayfield, a known name in the sport of boxing, almost 300,000 followers on Twitter, X. Check out the Substack Fight Freaks, which is his website, right? And you guys see it on the screen. Haney Prograis fight did well at the gate, but not nearly as well as Haney versus Lomachenko on pay-per-view. This is how the article opens. It drew a gate of $1.7 million from 13,729 tickets sold, according to the State Athletic Commission in California. Now listen to this. According to sources, let me put it big for you guys. According to sources, the pay-per-view did approximately 45,000 buys on DAZN. It was priced at $59.99. You guys see that? Once again, according to sources, the pay-per-view did approximately 45,000 buys on DAZN, priced at $59.99 for subscribers, and then about another 10,000 or so buys on non-DAZN platforms, right? So these are the numbers from boxing reporter Dan Raphael, which means if this report is true in the sources, this is what Leonard Ellerbe said. I mean, 45 plus an extra 10,000, that's 55,000 at best, right? So you have a third source in boxing, and they're all quoting these numbers as around 50,000. I mean, this is just getting crazy that we have to even keep talking about this. But I see you guys in the comment section arguing, and like, my thing is this: why is this hard to believe? Doesn't mean in the future Devin Haney can't get higher pay-per-view numbers. You know, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Arturo Gatti, I think that might have been his first pay-per-view, the numbers weren't as great as they later became in his career, fighting the likes of De La Hoya, Canelo, Manny Pacquiao. I believe, right? And so on and so forth. So the thing is, it's not saying Devin Haney is a bad fighter. He looked excellent in the fight. But a lot of you guys in the comment section want to refute this and then argue. And then as more information comes out. So Leonard Ellerbe, I believe he was the first to declare that the numbers were what they were. Leonard Ellerbe initially said this. He was the first person before any of the commission reports dropped and boxing reporters got their hands of it. This is what he had to say. The public decides who the star is. Tank Davis is the star, period. The public decided their current commercial value is 50,000 pay-per-view buys in the last fight. They had a very good live gate at 1.7 million. In what universe does someone think they can call the shots? You cannot fool the public. Leonard Ellerbe went on to say that 1.7 was a healthy number for the live gate. So the only number in question was how much did it perform on pay-per-view. And I made a video about this. Please check that video on the channel. But I said Leonard Ellerbe is owed an apology because he at the very least is 1 for 2. Because I just showed you, he said the numbers were 50,000 and it did a very good live gate of 1.7. I actually have the commission report. Boom. This is a detailed, you can screenshot this or whatever. This is from California State Athletic Commission. Date, December 9th, Matchroom Boxing USA, right? Shout out to Jedi Goodman. It's a detailed breakdown. So in the $1,500 ticket price, they sold 151 tickets. That's the collective 226. And then they sold the most, you know, in the cheaper tickets, the 30 tickets in the $30 ticket range, 1,727. $50 tickets, they sold 3,320, and so on and so forth, right? They sold some $100 tickets, 2,000, 2,100, $200 tickets, 2,100, etc. These are the actual commission reports. So you guys, let me see if you can see that. The total is right there. 1.7. So $1,724,000 and $20. So Leonard Ellerbe, so far, at least with the live gate, was correct. I made a separate video about that. So people were calling Leonard Ellerbe all types of names for this tweet. But you see right there, he said 1.7, and I'm showing you the official commission report. And at least from that perspective, that was dead on. So the only thing remaining was the pay-per-view numbers, which he quoted at about 50K, 50,000. Now you have Bob Arum, who came after him and said the numbers were disappointing. And then on top of that, you have a boxing reporter and Dan Raphael, and his sources are saying the same thing. So it's like, what are people supposed to think? At the end of the day, if so many people are coming out and suggesting, and I'll put a link to the article so you guys could check it out. But if so many people are suggesting that these are the numbers, I mean, if Devin were to fight against Gervonta Davis, he's clearly the A side with those numbers, because Gervonta Davis versus late replacement Pitbull Cruz did double the live gate that Devin Haney did. And I don't understand why this is so hard for people to embrace, right? So right here, just so you guys can see, there's no Photoshop or any fakery. I've highlighted it for you. It says Haney Prograis fight did well at the gate, but not nearly as well as Haney Lomachenko on pay-per-view. It drew a gate of, and it's the exact same gate that I showed you on the commission report, which is subsequently the same number we got from Mayweather Promotions Ellerbe. And now he's saying it did 45,000 plus 10,000 or so. So let me get this straight. When I put out the video, people said I was lying. They said Leonard Ellerbe's lying. They said when I made the follow-up video that Bob Arum was lying. And then now add to the list Dan Raphael. So everybody is lying about this event, but just use your common sense. It's December. Christmas is next week. You got the holidays right here. That's something you have to contend with. You put the fight December 9th, which is the month of New Year's Eve and also Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, right? So there's different things you're contending with. The other thing that I said from the beginning is, why is it inconceivable that the numbers for this fight perhaps weren't astonishing when, like I said from the beginning, Lomachenko is a bigger name than Regis Prograis, and Regis Prograis was coming off of a bad performance versus Zorilla. So for me, I was content not talking about the numbers until everybody started talking about the numbers. And then, Bill Haney said he offered $20 million to Tank. How can you offer $20 million to Tank when he's the A side? And then Tank has been on pay-per-view and doing like doorbuster crazy live gates for some time now, right? So Devin, he's doing good for himself, but you have a lot of catching up to do to be on that level. Tank just bought his block, and I made videos about this. He bought his block in Baltimore, which is a huge statement and giving back. So he bought his block, his old stomping grounds, to renovate and remodel and build affordable housing for the people of Baltimore, right? For the community. It goes without saying he's the A side. I mean, even if he didn't buy his block, even if he didn't have the Ryan Garcia fight, he would still be the A side. But all of these things have happened, so you have to include them. So again, how can the B side, like I said from the beginning, how can they offer to the A side what happens next and this and that? And then now with the actual commission report, the people like Ellerbe that you said were lying, they don't look like so much of a liar. And again, I seen in the comment section when I made some of these videos, like the Ellerbe video, like the Bob Arum video, you had fanatical fans. They said, oh, ain't no way you guys are just hating on Devin Haney. So everybody just feels the need to report bad numbers. Like somebody's telling them, unless you think the source, Leonard Ellerbe, phoned Bob Arum and told Bob Arum to tell Fight Hype that the numbers were this. And then they got on a three-way call with another popular boxing reporter. And then his sources, and it was plural, sources, told him these same type of numbers. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. I was very content just giving credit to Devin for a sharp performance. But you guys turned it into something else on the comment section when you badmouth me, my report, the information that's out. And like I said, perception is reality. At the bare bones minimum, perception is reality. And this could all be settled if DAZN Boxing put out the numbers. That's it. That's the easiest way to settle it. And given the amount of time that has elapsed, I truly feel that that is not something that they're going to do, because I truly feel it would have been done by now. Like if you have an easy alibi and you have an easy way to rid the doubts of people who doubt you, if the event in terms of the pay-per-view aspect of it produced and yielded great numbers, why not put the number out? Because I will show you this. This is DAZN, right? So when Katie Taylor fought, DAZN Boxing verified page put this out. It says Taylor Serrano saw an unprecedented audience of 1.5 million on DAZN to achieve record-breaking viewership night for women's boxing. Fans tuned in on DAZN across 170 markets, yada, 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 making it the most watched female headline boxing broadcast ever. They took the time to post this. In addition to that post, they put out a graphic showing this 1.5 million. And people say, oh, DAZN doesn't release numbers. 1.5 million new women boxing broadcast audience viewership record. So again, when we're talking about the same company, it seems like why not put out some kind of graphic just like you did with Taylor Serrano if it really achieved better ratings than ESPN, which is a bigger app in America and also has a linear TV channel, and it has an app, ESPN Plus. So Lomachenko, let's say my thought process is just all crazy. It's all mixed up. So I think Lomachenko is a bigger name than Regis Prograis, and he would have more name recognition. They said that fight did about 150,000, maybe a little bit more than 150,000. So why would it be expected that Regis Prograis, coming off a bad performance and a lesser known name on a lesser known platform than ESPN and ESPN Plus that doesn't have a linear TV channel, why would I expect it to exceed it? But again, if it did, why not drop the numbers like you did for Taylor Serrano? I mean, you can't make this up and you can't make that make sense. And I'm not going to change my reporting style to avoid all the truth. You know what I mean? You have Leonard saying it, Bob Arum. I mean, these promoters have been involved in the biggest fight of all time. That's no cap. We're talking Mayweather, Pacquiao. Leonard Ellerbe was involved in that, and Al Heyman and PBC, and so was Bob Arum. These are the biggest fight that the world has ever seen. They had a hand in it. And then now you have a known boxing reporter, and their sources are saying the same thing. So I don't really believe that this is some concerted effort to shame Devin Haney, but we got to start getting to the facts in boxing. And if they're not facts, then DAZN definitely could have put out a graphic to, eliminate this, because from a brand perspective, if Devin is making an offer to Gervonta Davis and then the numbers are all being reported disappointing and poor on the pay-per-view side, then it seems like you would want to clear that up. Food for thought. Subscribe to my channel. YouTube will now show you some videos that I've produced that you'll definitely be interested in. Hopefully this numbers thing just goes away. Frankly, I'm kind of sick of talking about it, but I got to push out the content, and this came across the desk. A bunch of people sent it to me. Check out some of the other content.